Welcome to Hypnosis Health Info. I'm Roger Moore. Last week, July 7th of 2011, there was a report in WebMD that you may have heard about in the Today Show, the evening news, NPR, places like that, that talked about the continued rise of obesity rates. And the report says adult obesity rates increased in 16 states during the past year, and none of the 50 states showed any decline in their rates of obesity. The findings are from the 8th edition of the F as in Fat report put out by the Trust for America's Health and the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Obesity rates have doubled in the 7 states since 1995 and increased by 90% in 10 other states. 22 states saw obesity rates increase by as much as 80%. The state with the lowest obesity rates today, Colorado, would actually have had the highest rate in 1995. 9 of 10 states with the highest rates of obesity are in the South, while states in the Northeast and the West had lower rates. Mississippi had the highest adult obesity rates for the 7th year in a row, and Colorado had the lowest, less than 20%. 20 years ago, no state had an obesity rate higher than 15%. But today, 38 states have obesity rates over 25%. Obesity rates are growing rapidly in Oklahoma, Alabama, and Tennessee, and at a slower pace in Washington, D.C., Colorado, and Connecticut. Since 1995, diabetes rates have doubled in 8 states, and every state has high blood pressure rates greater than 20%. And 9 have rates above 30%. There is no single reason that obesity rates are increasing across the board. A lot of little changes have added up to that. Portion sizes in restaurants and the size of soft drinks that one can get at convenience stores are much larger. You can get a 44-ounce drink, and that was once the equivalent of a 6-pack. The rate of increase of obesity in children has tripled or quadrupled since the 1970s. We have an even larger wave coming in unless we can turn it around. Now here's what the report says. The onus is on everyone involved. It is not an individual willpower issue. Our behaviors are shaped by the schools we go to, the communities we live in, and the homes we go to. Well, that's true, but we can't place the blame on everyone else and everything else. And they're absolutely right that willpower isn't going to work. Willpower is a short burst of energy. Willpower is something that people do when they diet, and it's a very short period of time, and then they go back to eating the Ben & Jerry's and doing McDonald's and all those other things and put the weight back on. I've been there, done that. But if you really want to make a change in your life, if you're really serious about reforming your own health care, then from my perspective, probably the best tool around is self-hypnosis. And the great thing about self-hypnosis is it's about you taking back your power, taking back control, and you being at choice of what you're eating, how much you're eating, and ultimately your weight, creating that desire, that motivation for the vegetables, for the whole grains, for the fruit, and creating a desire, a motivation to exercise, to get out and move your body. Instead of using food for comfort, instead of food being a drug of choice, it's about you allowing yourself to experiencing your emotions, the laughter, the love, the joy, as well as the anger, the hurt, the fear, the sadness, and yet still be in control of you. And to not try to numb it out or flatline it with food. It truly is about being fully alive, experiencing emotions, but you taking back your power. And you know, I keep saying this, that we're always in trance. There's the trance of eating too much food too fast, or there's TV trance and driving trances and anger trances and hurt trances and grieving trances and all those things where we go into that old space and we go back to the old behaviors. Hypnosis is actually you taking control of the trance you're in. Instead of being in some upset trance or eating too much food too fast trance, a stressed out trance from work, it's about you being able to manage the stress, managing the upset, deciding, wait a minute, I'm not hungry, I'm truly upset, and then work with the upset. If you're truly hungry, then you get to make a healthy choice. Eat slowly, eat consciously, and stop eating when your body says, hey, that's enough fuel in the body, stop eating. And at Slender for Life, I teach all clients self-hypnosis and teach them how to give themselves suggestions, and I use the light switch self-hypnosis technique, which allows them to give themselves suggestions, go deeply relaxed, and be back in a minute or so. That way you always have time to use self-hypnosis, and you can use it multiple times a day, not only around eating and weight loss and exercise, but to manage stress, to manage upset, to problem solve. It truly becomes a very powerful tool for you to use in your life. So check out the tools and resources here at Hypnosis Health Info. Look up there in the orange menu bar under Self-Hypnosis. The first drop-down tab is the light switch self-hypnosis technique. The next one is written suggestions. Then it's Power Minutes, which are 1 to 4 minute MP3 downloads. And the final one is Hypnotic Suggestions. And there's roughly 12 to 1,400 suggestions there. You're welcome to use them word for word, or just use them as ideas as how to word your own suggestions. If there's any way that I can support you, whether you live here in the Puget Sound area, if you live here, you can come to my Seattle office in the Medical Dental Building in downtown Seattle, or visit me in this office on Bainbridge Island. Once a month I'm over in Forks, and if you live too far away, contact me over the internet or the phone, and we can set up Skype and phone sessions to support you in your success. So don't be one of the statistics, or if you are, you can step out of that, lose weight, and maintain being slender for the rest of your life. I'm Roger Moore, and this is Hypnosis Health Info.